So as you probably know by now, I am a DJ slash music producer, and on this channel I like to share music production tips and DJing tips, and today I've got an amazing Rekordbox one for you. This is one that I just stumbled across when I was preparing my sets, and I couldn't wait to share it with you guys. It's an amazing tip. Now if you're like me and you want to get to those huge massive tracks, you know those ones that go down well every single time in your sets, and you want to get to those really quickly, well this tip will help you do that in seconds. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, a lot of the time I go on about tips and tricks that allow you to be more efficient and quicker at what you do. Now, with music production, that's all about being more prepared, having everything at your fingertips so that when you're feeling creative, you're not wasting any time in the studio, you're getting stuff down as quick as possible. Now, when you're DJing, that's important as well because you've only got a certain amount of time between when you've got to mix in the next record, so you've got to find that next record. Well, one of those things that I always kind of find with Rekordbox is we've got these USB sticks now with a lot bigger space. We can have all these different tracks. We can have thousands and thousands of tracks going back, many years even. How are you going to find those bangers of tracks that you know work every single time? Those ones that you play all the time, those ones that really work. Well, I found this amazing tip when I was preparing for my sets the other day that allows you to do just that. So let's jump into Rekordbox. I'm going to show you exactly how to set this up. Now, if you've been using Rekordbox for a while, then hopefully you'll have found the histories feature. Every time that you play a set via USB, it will automatically create a history of that set. So you can see within here, I've got sets going back to 2014 all the way up to this year, and then I can go into that and have a look. Each individual month has got a folder. I can jump into the latest month, for example, and have a look at what I played on the 13th of July, for example. So this is all done automatically. Every time that you plug your USB back into Rekordbox, it will download this history and the history of everything that you've played. Now this is really kind of cool because this allows you to look at what you've played so you can see what worked, what didn't, and then you can plan your next set. But one of the most amazing things of it that not really many people think about is that it also makes note of how many times you've played a track. So obviously the more times that you play a track, the better that track is, the better it goes down in your set, otherwise you wouldn't be playing it as much. So what can we do with this information? Well, if I jump back into my collection, for example, we can see that we have all the different columns here, and I can see all the tracks below that I've got within my collection. Now each one of these columns allows me to see a bit of information about that track, and I can also sort any of these columns in any which way. At the moment I've got it sorted by date added, so I've got the latest tracks at the top. But what I can do is I can add another column within here. Now one of the things you'll find really handy is the amount of times that you've played a track. So one of the columns you can add is DJ play count. If I add that within here, it will show me how many times I've played a track. So what it's doing is it's taking that history feature and it's counting how many times you played those tracks. That's really handy because now what I can do is I can sort this column by the amount of times that I've actually played it, and I can see the tracks that I've played the most within my sets. Now obviously the more that I've played a track, the better it's gone down. Obviously I wouldn't play a track if it didn't go down very well, so the more that I've played it, obviously the better it goes down. So that's a good place to start, so we can actually figure out what tracks go down best in our sets. Now we've obviously got this within our collection here, and I can actually drag and drop any of these tracks then into a new playlist. But let's use the intelligent playlist to actually create this and do it all automatically. So if I right click on the playlist bit here, I can choose new intelligent playlist. Now what I want to do is I'm going to create a playlist here where I'm going to do my most played tracks. So this playlist is just going to contain the tracks that go down the best in my sets, the ones that I've played the most. Right, so let's go ahead and start setting up the conditions for this playlist. Now, as I mentioned before, we can use any column within Rekordbox to create a condition. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it on DJ play count. Now I can do anything within here, but what I want to do is I want to kind of do tracks that I play a lot. So really I want to put tracks in here that I've maybe played perhaps more than 5 times, for example. If I know I've played a track more than 5 times, that I know it's a banger, I know it's really good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do greater than 5. So I'm going to do the DJ play count is greater than 5, and I'll click OK. This will create a new playlist and it will show me every track that I've played more than 5 times. So that's basically created a folder full of bangers. These are all the ones that I've played more than 5 times. And if I played it more than 5 times, it must work. So that's why I've played it. So it's really just created a folder full of go-to stuff, the stuff that I know that works. Now this will automatically update every time that I play out, every time that I put my USB stick back into Rekordbox, it will automatically read those histories and update those play counts. So new tracks will then get added to this playlist. So that becomes really handy. I never have to kind of update this playlist. It's always got the stuff that I know that works. But we can actually push this a bit further and make this even more interesting. So we can see within here that I actually have acapellas within here. Now, acapellas are good. Obviously, I use acapellas quite a bit, but I probably don't need them to be in here. I want this to be just tracks. I don't want it to be acapellas as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit this intelligent playlist. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another condition to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something in here, which is I'm going to put it as track title. So when track title doesn't contain, and I'll put acapella. So what this is doing is it's taking every track that I've played more than 5 times that doesn't contain acapella in the track title. So if I click OK, you can see that this list has now been refined even more. So this is just containing tracks now. There's no acapellas in there. These are just tracks that I play all the time that I know that work. So even this has become even better now. I know that this is just tracks that I play all the time. But we can go even further than this. We can refine it even further. So if I click edit on here, I can now add another condition within here. And what I could do is I could put date added, for example. So I could do it so that it just shows the latest tracks in here. So let's do it in the last 3 months, for example. So this now will show every track that has had more than 5 plays, that doesn't contain the word acapella, and has been added within the last 3 months. The last 3 months worth of tracks that I've played more than 5 times that aren't acapellas. So this is actually showing me nothing now. So none of the tracks that I've added in the last 3 months I've played more than 5 times. Okay, well that's maybe quite realistic. Maybe I would play tracks that I added maybe 4 or 5 years ago. They probably would have been played more than 5 times. So let's go in and edit this again, and maybe I'll reduce the I might reduce the amount on here. So let's reduce it to maybe 2. So any track that I've played more than 2 times. Okay, so we've only got 5 tracks in there now, but I know at least those tracks I've played 3 or more times. So again, let's edit again. Let's do it more than 1. Okay, so it's getting a bit better now. We've got 5 tracks in there. Let's try tweaking it a little bit more. Let's maybe give it a little bit more time. Let's put it within the last 6 months. So we've got the last 6 months worth of tracks. There we go, we've got a few more tracks in there. It's starting to work really nicely now, and we can actually tweak this further if we wanted to. We could start changing these conditions to get more tracks in there. For example, I might want to tweak this so it shows the last 12 months rather than the last 6 months. It's one of those things that you can keep playing around with until you get the results that you want to. One of my favorite things about Rekordbox is you can set it up exactly how you want it to work. So, you know, just me kind of tweaking these different conditions makes sense for me. But you can obviously change this to however you want to play, however makes sense to you. But this is only using information that's already in Rekordbox. You know, these kind of things already exist within Rekordbox. Every time that you play a track out and then you put your USB stick back in your computer, Rekordbox will update the history, and therefore it'll update the play count and your playlist will be updated. So you set this up now and you never have to kind of change it after that. It will always show the tracks that you play the most, which is really handy when you're playing a set and you need to get to those tracks that you know go down well. Having a playlist like this really works well. So I hope you like that tip. I hope it's really useful to you guys. Definitely leave me a comment below. Let me know if you're using it. If you found a way of making it better, definitely leave me a comment. I always want to see that. I want to see how people kind of use my tips and kind of build on top of it. So definitely leave me a comment below. If you've got any kind of comments, let me know what you think. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification icon so you're notified whenever I upload a brand new video. I've got a load of DJ tips, music production tips on my channel, so definitely check those out, and I'll see you again in the next video.